yeah, I'm not sure how to start with this one. Yeah, so about that time ticking bomb in the background, that's my laptop. It's literally on its last breath as we speak. It's doing so as we speak, so there is that. If it, can you make sure to know if it's distracting or not, if it's coming up in the audio or not?
I mean, I honestly can't really hear it, so.
Okay,
It
if you can't hear it, then great.
faint.
Cause we could hear it, that's why. Maybe I was too close to it. Okay, so there is that. But yeah, episode 72 of Game Player. Um, Interesting show tonight. Not a lot of people, but hopefully next week I wanna have the entire crew, cause we're gonna do a deep dive with Forbidden West, and we actually gonna get our tiebreaker with Forbidden West versus Ragnarok Goatee. Cause Viper is now in the middle of Forbidden West, and so far he have made up his mind, but maybe with the ending with Forbidden West, he might change his mind. Who knows? So keep looking forward for that. But where are my manners? Since I talk about you, Viper, how are you, man? What you been playing?
Hey, how's it going? How's everybody? Um, yeah, I'm knee deep in Forbidden West. That after platinuming Forspoken, that was done last week. Um, in the middle of Forbidden West. Uh, Other than some climbing mechanic issues, I think it's outstanding. It looks great. Love the weapons. Love the open world. Love pretty much everything about it so far. Um, and I treated it like I treated Forspoken. I go do my side quests, becomes leveled up, slightly overpowered, and move on to where's the end of the game. I'm about 30% complete it though. I honestly don't think I'll be able to start Burning Shores until exactly 1 week from now. I should be finishing up the game and starting Burning Shores by then because it took me. So I'm doing about 10% of the game per day, so that's about the pace that I'm on. It's a big game, so
Yeah,
that
it is.
that's all I've been playing. I usually dibble and dabble in games here and there, but I'm laser focused. I'm not going back. Oh, I will be going back and forth to the Pixel remasters. I just purchased all of those. I'm going to play Final Fantasy One in between after I finish Forbidden West. The Pixel remasters will be played alongside whatever massive game I play next. So
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha, gotcha. Weeb, how are you, man? What you been playing? Wait, is he having the issue again? Can you please leave and come back? Cause we can't hear you if you're talking.
Well, I don't see him lighting up, so I don't think he's talking.
Yeah, I don't see him lighting up at all.
That that's the issue though.
Oh,
He'd be talking, but he don't light up. There you
see,
go.
There
there
you
you
go.
go.
Yeah, can you hear me? Or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at some point we just know how Discord is. Go ahead, Weeb.
All right. Um, yeah, to answer your question, I'm good, and I've been playing Burning Shores as well. Haven't finished it yet, so no spoilers. Also played some Grim Grimoire once more, whatever the subtitle is. Uh, and oh yeah, Super Lucky's Tale.
Oh no, real talk. That's a great game.
Yeah,
I played it on my laptop,
Oh
and
man,
I had a blast
this
with
man
it.
said great game. Oh man.
Platforming wise, it's fun, it's entertaining.
Well,
If it was a
you
bad game, I would call it out a bad game, dude.
it's a typical Unity game. I mean, you can see it's pretty cheap, but you know, after the horror that was that what's the name, Kangoo, whatever it's called. Like I
Oh,
was really,
Kangaroo, that game I dropped it in a heartbeat. That
yeah,
was
I was relieved at least that it had some decent voice acting.
oh no, the Kangaroo, that game. I
Yeah,
was game sharing with that one and I dropped that in a heartbeat. Like that
yeah.
was horrible.
So I kind of want to have a sort of a palate cleanser. Like I want to play a decent, platformer. That's why I went ahead and you know bought it because it wasn't on sale. It was nice. I I yeah, I'm two trophies shy from the plat. Not sure I'm gonna do it because it's fucking annoying. But well, we'll see.
Super Lucky
Uh,
Tail,
yeah,
make sure to do the bonus levels. These are fun.
I've played pretty much everything. I just need two trophies for the plat.
Uh-huh. My biggest issue would have been with this is what's the point of the purple coins? I collected them all, but there is nothing you can do with them. Maybe
Purple
it's
coin?
trophy related. I played it on my laptop, so I am not sure, but there is nothing you can do with them. You just collect them and they are difficult to collect, but you can do anything with them.
I'm not sure exactly what you mean, purple coin.
I forgot which coin it is, but it's a type of what you call it, collectible that you collect, but you don't do anything with it. You just collect it.
I think most collectibles just go towards buying new costumes.
Not with the final one. This one you can do anything with it.
I'm pretty sure the final one were hot dogs, and you get a hot dog costume.
Okay, I forgot which coin it is, but okay, continue.
And well, I played a little bit of VR. So Farpoint, the VR shooter for for the PSVR one. Um, it's pretty cool playing a shooter in VR, but it is incredibly headache inducing. So I didn't really last long.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Um, Give me a second. I'm gonna tweet it out. And Nate, how are you, man? What you been playing?
Yeah. Um, right now, I mean, obviously, I completed uh, Burning Shores, at least the main portion of the gameplay. So, I was playing that. Um, I'll save my opinion on that for when we actually talk about it. But it was,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it was okay. And then
Damn. Do you feel my sentiment? I feel you.
uh, right now, Advance Wars I picked up. So I've been playing that. I haven't gotten like super far in that because I literally just got it. Um, but I just gave it a try quickly. But I mean, it's a remake essentially. So I mean, I already knew what I was getting into with that, and I've always loved those games. So having fun with that, and then trying to get through Jedi Fallen Order, um, which is just
How
made.
was the map
Yeah,
treating you?
it's it is easier to not look at the map like people were saying and just kind of follow along where you think you should go and you kind of guide yourself better there. But there's I don't know. There's a lot of I know a lot of people talked about how much they loved this game, but man, there are a lot of frustrating mechanics that personally get to me in this game. Sometimes just the way the animation to me the animation quality when the character jumps is kind of like it seems really basic. Like that stuff is just it's jarring to me when I'm used to playing certain games where the animation
Mhm.
quality is so high that like when it's just that super basic, you know, weird. I don't know. It's hard to describe the jump. You'd have to play it to really get it, but not that it's like a terrible game or anything. Like the game has been, it definitely stands out as far as like the AAA quality of the game, but because of the visual fidelity of the game and stuff like that, that like some of the stuff is pretty glaring when the animation quality doesn't stand
I
up.
I know exactly what you mean. What irked me the most was the running animation. He
Yeah,
looked like he crapped his pants, basically.
yeah, it's super weird. Like the way he gets his momentum going and stuff is like really weird, and it's like it really makes me appreciate um again stuff that I guess like a lot of people just wouldn't notice, but like when you play some of the games where that's not a thing, like Horizon. One of the things I love about Horizon is the fluidity of the movement.
Mhm.
Whether I press the analog stick a little bit and then immediately floor it or whatever, like the way she steps is so fluid. And same thing for like The Last of Us Part 2 when they developed like the motion engine where it, goes through thousands of different animations to make sure the character steps exactly how they should based on the speed you press the analog stick. Um, like that kind of it becomes very obvious to me when it's like a very standard this thing only runs one way or this thing only moves one way, and it's like, oh man, like the kind of stiff animations and inability to cancel certain things. Like there's just I could definitely see a massive room for improvement. And it looks like Jedi Survivor did, so that's why I'm kind of wanting to get the story, which I thought was kind of cool from the beginning.
Yeah, but unfortunately, what I've seen, the running animation is still the same.
Oh man. Yeah, hopefully a lot better, man. A lot of people, I don't know. I think part of the problem for me is like I'm gonna be extremely in tune to it because I've heard so much about it, and then I'm also not the biggest Star Wars fan. So like, you can't like as the most interesting thing. Yeah, I think it's impossible for nerds not to find, lightsabers cool. Lightsabers are definitely cool, but like that doesn't like blind me to all the flaws that I seem to come across in the game.
It almost feels like outdated
Yeah, yeah, basically.
lightsaber.
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
felt like it got a lot of praise, and then like now that I'm playing it, it kind of feels like this is really their first shot at this game. Like I said, it's not a bad game. It's just like it's like somebody trying to imitate what PlayStation's really good at, and they couldn't quite
Exactly.
get it.
Yeah, that that was my feeling as
I
well.
think
I think
that's a little.
people praised it because it didn't suck. Because
Yeah,
after
basically.
Battlefront
I
2,
I
they were like,
don't.
"Oh, a non-cynical, single player game with no microtransactions.
I
Yay, yay!"
I disagree with that, and here is why. People have been wanting a new Star Wars game ever since the leaked gameplay for not 343, God no, Jedi 342. I forgot what Jedi it is.
Yeah, I
It
know what
was,
you're talking about.
yeah. So there is that. Because of that, people always wanted gameplay. I mean, a new game. And when they gave them that fucking disaster that was uh, Battlefront, like people revolted and they're like, "This is not what we wanted, dude. Come on, how are you gonna give us this?"
Well, that's what I
And
said.
that
I feel like that's where a lot of people kind of almost like just negated a lot of this game's flaws. And because I mean, when I say people love
Oh
this
yeah,
game, I'm
yeah.
talking they were giving this like 9.5, 9.8 out of 10. Like, and I'm just like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh
man. Like, it's an okay game, but I could definitely see plenty of reasons to take points off here.
yeah. I think that's just fanboyism, and that's just how dry the Star Wars universe have been single player wise. To the point where like you give them a third, they're gonna look at it like it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Absolutely.
Kind of like how with Microsoft when they did something good with Gear 4 or 5, I forgot which one it is, and people were like, this is next gen, this is blah blah blah. I'm like, congratulations, you just experienced Uncharted 2.
Yeah.
That's literally how I felt when I played, I forgot which one it is, which was good, but I'm like, this is what Uncharted 2 is for the PlayStation community. And you're a few generations behind, my boy,
Yeah,
with this
people went
one.
crazy over Hive Busters DLC.
Um, but yeah, so about that. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. As for me, I was playing Octopath. The final boss in Octopath. Oh boy, yeah, I know. Who am I kidding? Burning Shores. But real talk, I wish I was playing Octopath. At least,
Understandable.
let me not go, let me not go there. I promise, Kay. I'm gonna wait for her, so I'm gonna wait for her. This is for you, Gay. Okay, so, real talk now. Burning Shore, that's about it. I'm not gonna cover it right now. We're gonna do an entire deep down next week and cover it and talk about it and talk about everything. But yeah, um, yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Um, where do we start? Okay, so first of all, we start with PlayStation saying that they have a plan for animated series from the PlayStation brand. I'm like, tell me more. I am curious what you're gonna do. Are you gonna giving us a Gravity Rush anime? I would love that.
I mean,
Bloodborne anime?
whatever they're gonna do, they need to pay attention to uh, the Cyberpunk anime and Arcane. They need to pay attention to those two.
So there is that. Um, and apparently they have 10 projects at work. Um, is there anything you want in particular for them to adapt
I mean, honestly,
on the big screen?
besides Ghost of Tsushima, not really. Like, I'm
I
just
mean, that's already getting adapted, but would you
yeah.
want Daisuke, the main character from the first game, to play it or to be in it or no? I mean, the character, the actor.
I mean, if he seems like he would fit the bill, so I mean, hopefully, he's if he's up to the task, absolutely.
Yeah. Um. Weeb. What about you?
Uh, what I want and that, Jesus Christ. Well, I already, but I think they're already doing something with God of War, right?
They're also doing God of War movies, so far I know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's definitely some stories to tell. Between one and Ragnarok, and also before God of War 4. So yeah, that would be interesting. See, probably would work best as an animated thing because I can see them finding an actor who looks like Kratos and
Oh, that's easy to do. That's Triple A. That's so easy. It's not even funny.
no. You if you let me finish, then
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, who can actually act, and that's pretty hard because most people, who look like that are former wrestlers or whatever, and generally they can act for shit. So no, no,
I
and it's probably
mean,
going to be,
he's
huh?
a wrestler though. They all can act.
uh, play pretend, not acting, two different things.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's probably. I think it's interesting. I think to adapt. They haven't adapted yet. Um, yeah, guess that's yeah. I'm Horizon, but they're already doing that as well. So yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. And Viper, you?
He
No
might,
comment.
Under.
yeah, he might be away for a moment.
Yeah. Um.
I mean, honestly,
Okay.
nothing really stands out besides, like I said, Ghost. Like, I mean, like I love to play their games, but like I just can't think of a lot of them that I'd like to see adapted. That's kind of like the Assassin's Creed movies, right? Like they made the Assassin's Creed movies and they were like they just didn't transition well, but they make great games, but just not it didn't transition well to a movie. At least not the way
Mm-hmm.
that they did it. Can it? Yeah, sure. I mean, somebody could do it, right? But it was still kind of like that awkward movie game. Um, I feel like the way they did The Last of Us obviously was really good. Um, with the live adaptation for that. But I mean, that game kind of lends itself well to that anyway. I just gonna think I can't really think of anything offhand besides Ghost that is their franchises that I'm just like hype to experience. Like our Arcane actually wasn't really that far fetched for me because having played League of Legends, I know there's a huge backstory there um, behind all the characters and stuff like that, and a bunch of allegiances and things of that nature, and they it kind of allowed them to go crazy with Arcane, and that's why we got such an amazing show out of that. Um, so I think
I.
that's what I'm curious, like how much different can you make it because it can't just be like the story told already. You know what I mean?
So you want them to take the playbook out of Last of Us One?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, like you got to change up enough where it's like, I mean, and they will, right? Because certain things work in cinema that don't work in a game or vice versa. So, I mean, they'll definitely have to. Um, and you need the key moments in there, like when we recognized a bunch of stuff or where they were or, certain seeds,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So they'll definitely need to do that. But, I mean, they got to make it interesting to watch rather than since this is no longer
Mm-hmm.
playing. And that's where I'm kind of struggling to see like how amazing it would be. Um, like if someone watched the Uncharted movie, I thought the Uncharted movie was okay, right? Like there was nothing wrong with it as a general
Mm-hmm.
like adventure film, but that is no substitute for playing the games at all, not even close. So that's where I'm like, yeah,
I'd say Twisted Metal might lend itself. I think that they're already adapting it too, but because of how dark it was and how bizarre it was, I mean that kind of could work as a I don't know movie or TV show, whatever.
yeah. I
I
think I
never
think
watched it.
I well, I think
Go ahead.
Twisted Metal. No, I think what we're saying is perfect, right? Twisted Metal is the perfect example because the backstory behind them, you always hear about it, but you never really got much of it. Like you always hear about the backstory behind all the characters in Twisted Metal, and you got
Hmm.
to hear when they would get their wish from Calypso and stuff like that. But that was really kind of it, right? Um,
Yeah, Twisted Metal story is paper thin.
yeah,
It's not, but here's the thing: they actually casted Samoa Joe from WWE TNA, and he is a beast on the mic. Like he is one of the best on the mic. I'm not even joking. Like he is one of the few people that I actually trust. Not trust. I actually think that can go toe to toe. against someone like CM Punk, which is the most legendary person on the mic, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's WWE. That's not something for you guys. But just know that he is like almost how to say uh like The Rock when it comes to talking. He is a beast. So to cast him, it it must mean there's some quality behind it, which I'm hoping. Cause Switch Metal is a franchise that I love and I grew up with, and I'm curious how they're gonna do what they're gonna make for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Viper, you here?
Yeah.
And what's your thought?
What was the question? I think I walked away. Something about anime, right?
Yeah. So basically, they confirmed they have 10 projects in the making, and some of them are gonna be animated. What what's your thought, and which project would you want to greenlight if you had the power?
they should they should hire King Thrash and use his console war cartoon. No, but on a more serious note, um, Cyberpunk probably. Um,
Huh? That makes no sense. We already got
No,
that.
he's talking about PlayStation first party.
yeah, PlayStation. Yeah. Um,
No. I'm saying because you said Cyberpunk, but I was saying he's talking about PlayStation first party. That's what he's asking you. What should they make? Like, what would you
oh,
want
oh,
them to make?
PlayStation
Yeah,
first party.
PlayStation first party announced 10 projects, and some of them will be
Okay,
animated. So you're saying, what would
gotcha.
you want to see?
Um, I don't know. I never really gave this topic much thought because
Okay,
I
not
know it
even
exists.
animated, just TV series or a movie. What would you want to see?
Um, hmm. Go to the next topic. I need to think about that one. I never. I
Mm.
think I might have two of them, but I need to do a little research real quick.
Okay, do your thing, and we're gonna move on to the next topic. The next topic is going to be PlayStation is suffering from something called too much successism. Hey, that's the only way I can describe it.
That's nice.
When you're dog walking your competition, uh, 5-1 sales wise, I think. I'm not sure. I need to pick it up, to pick the article up, and then we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, so, yeah, about that. Europe data, March hardware, PlayStation 5 up 400%, Switch down 19%, and Series X down 13%. Uh, Q1 hardware, PlayStation 5 up 369 percent, Switch down 18%, and Series X series down 10%. And March Software, Resident Evil Remake first, Hogwarts Legacy second, and then FIFA third, and then GTA, and then Call of Duty 5. Um, where do we go with this one? So, big question being said. One person asked, what's going on with Xbox? Benitez says, yeah, it's been rough for them. I haven't been impressed with their hardware performance over the last 6 months. I really need to turn things around this year because declining this much this early in the generation isn't great. Need big third party software to deliver.
Wait, 6 months. That's it.
Mm, I mean, he is he is trying to prevent console ninjas from
Yeah, he's trying to say like,
getting on
because
him.
like they did okay during the holiday season, and then it like had a sharp drop off.
Oh,
But
I know
like
what
it
you're talking
was,
about.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
like November, like that's when the Series X console started to disappear. But what was happening was it was they were not producing the just the console anymore. They were trying to sell the bundles. So they stopped producing them, so you wouldn't really see them anywhere, um,
Mm.
except the bundle, which was stupid because, and this is what I explained. This is stupid because a bunch of these people, almost all of them, have Game Pass, right? Or they want Game Pass, but you're putting them, charging them $5.59 for a console that comes with a game that's in Game Pass. You see what I'm saying? So no one
Yeah.
really wants it because it's like, why spend $59 to
Yep.
get Forza? You know, which I mean, it would have been fine for me because I want to own Forza, right? Like, so I bought the $100 edition of Forza when I bought it. But for most of these people, if they're already playing and they're wanting to jump to the Series X, and that you're going to charge them $60 for a game they've either already played or possibly don't even want to play, is crazy. So that's where they're kind of running into it. Where again, Xbox fans or fanboys rather don't understand why that's a terrible idea. You know, they're like, I don't see the issue. You know what I mean? Bundles are great. You know, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, bundles are great when it's a game someone is essentially going to want to purchase that's getting into your ecosystem, which is why the Horizon bundles and the God of War bundles they worked right, but because of the way Game Pass is structured, it basically is hindering a person's choice by adding bundles to stuff. Even with the upcoming Diablo one, because what is a bunch of them are already anticipating Diablo and all the Activision stuff being in Game Pass, and they don't even know when that's going to happen. They're assuming this deal is going to be over in 5 minutes because one little line of, oh man, I think this isn't too bad, and they think it's going to be over, and then they're going to just be like, all right, everything's in Game Pass in 5 minutes, and that's not how that's going to go either. So yeah, they really are shooting themselves in the foot with these bundles. I don't know why they're like really really hung up on trying to do these bundles. They really just need to sell the console itself and pray that they can at least sell that. Um,
Mm.
that's been their real problem. But yeah, that's why
The
he was
real
saying that.
problem is people think that this is a storage issue, when in fact it's not.
It's not.
It's being resolved long time ago. Like literally, PlayStation created an ad saying no more issue, to the point. Sorry for undercutting you, Nate. Uh, 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 what you call it?
Yeah, but we all said it's not, right? Like the conversation was had on Twitter, and a bunch of people all over the world were like, I can buy it right now. But you know what everybody said is like only the bundle is in stock because they're purposely not providing the base console in the majority of places. Like they'll come in stock sometimes, but like really, really rarely. But it's like you can always find one. But people are like, oh, I couldn't find one for months, and it's like, no, that's because you wanted just the base console, which is what they're starving it on purpose to try to force people to buy the bundles, which is sad because that means that goes to tell you again that you made a bad bundle if you're having to force people to buy it.
to be fair though, PlayStation bundles are not better though.
No, no, no. They are better. You didn't just
How?
hear what I
Can you
just said?
explain?
You didn't hear that whole explanation I just gave you?
Mm, I heard it, but I really didn't understand it. My bad.
Horizon Forbidden West is not it was not in a um in the service when you got it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it was brand new. It was a game that a lot of people wanted to play. God of War was
Mm-hmm.
not in the service.
Okay, so
Ragnarok.
basically that's what you mean. Okay, the bundle is
Yeah,
free. So basically,
why would I want to buy a bundle of a game that I'm going to have access to anyway? Why would I pay
mm,
$60 for a game that's on? Even if I did want it, I could own it for $29.99. You see what I'm saying? But the
so
bundle is
basically what you're
$5.59.
telling me. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I was just saying like it's overpriced. It's overpriced, and you're charging me full price for a game that I'm going to have access to anyway. That's their
Yeah,
problem.
basically what you're telling me. exclusive sales. That's what you're telling me.
I mean,
Console sales
those
because of exclusivity.
well, no, but those games are exclusive. What's screwing it up, I'm explaining to you, is Game Pass. That's why these people don't want the bundle. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because
So
they.
so
So that's what we're gonna talk about
yeah.
here with
So
Hi-Fi
basically,
Rush.
I could pay for, you're basically messing up a potential year of Game Pass for me that I could have spent that money on versus forcing me to own this game that I either might have played already or didn't particularly want to own. That's their problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah. Um. So 500 though percent. Oh no
400%.
no
But yeah,
no 300 and 97%. 69%. Sorry about that. I
369
always
was but 400% overall or whatever.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So let's say 400. Okay. So it's like what are they buying? Yo, like that math. Like how do you compete with that? I don't think even Activision Blizzard is gonna help them.
I mean, honestly, not really, because that deal's not going to bring anything to fruition for at least the next 4 to 5 years. If they're lucky, they'll get it that soon. So, I mean, they're not getting anything remotely that's going to go exclusive so far. Um, and at the rate that, Activision Blizzard makes games, you're not going to see a game out of them for a while. And the one game that will come out eventually that you'll see is another Call of Duty, which they claim they're not going to pull away from anyone. So, I mean, they're not going to really gain anything from this. And having it on Game Pass is not going to make people, jump up and, you know, just purchase it, want to purchase an Xbox just for that. Like, I don't know why people think that's a thing. Um, but yeah, it's definitely not. But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, right now, obviously, a ton of people are have been still wanting PlayStations. They became extremely readily available, um, and people are purchasing them. People are purchasing them for all the games they haven't been able to play yet. All these new people coming into the ecosystem, and then you've got all these upcoming games. Um, Coming with Final Fantasy 16, Spider Man.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
that's gonna do numbers. Apparently, the sale for 16 is up the chart.
yeah, yeah, they shot way up because, like I said, they showed what people want to see. For the first time.
Gameplay.
Yeah, we got to see the world that we're gonna play in, and not just this man, doing fury swipes all over the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which, like I said, is cool, and particle effects are nice and everything, but it's an RPG at the end of the day, or at least it's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be. So we want to see RPG things. So they finally showed that, and lo and behold, guess what? The sales went up. Um, but yeah, I mean, and then there's tons and
It's
tons more
almost
coming out too. So,
it's almost as if people was waiting on a gameplay. Almost,
well, people wanted
almost.
to see the game. Like I said, the only people who were really excited, prior were people who were just flat out going to purchase Final Fantasy no matter what, and then people who were obsessed with that type of combat. You know, so
And
it's
also
like,
the people
yeah,
that believed in Yoshi P. We trust
oh yeah, the
without
people
any
obsessed with a
other.
person. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be real. I only It's very few people that get that kind of trust from me. I mean, personally, I'm not a Final Fantasy 14 fan like that. Like, the game is okay, so I don't really care. Um, he gonna have to earn it from me, and
Oh
but
yeah.
so I mean, and it's not even him, right? Like I said, like the other reason I don't like that is because, like I said, it takes a team of hundreds, if not thousands, to create some of these games. So like this, he's not everybody. Like I said, wants to put everybody in this light, like they're, a designer or a producer or director like Hideo Kojima, where he literally designs and crafts, like handcrafts, a bunch of different parts of these games. To the point where the game would not be the same without Hideo himself. And a lot of people just are they're an intrinsic part of getting the game and developing the game and stuff like that, but not in the way that he is. And everybody kind of wants to put forward or kind of give this superhero effect to whoever their favorite, developer or producer is. And it's like everybody's just not on that status. But yeah, like I said, I'm
Would
I'm
you put
gonna see.
Cory Barlog and Neil Druckmann in that status?
I mean, they're definitely up there, but even with them, right? um they've even gone on to say like, look, yes, I am a big part of this team. I help make a lot of decisions, but I don't make this game on my own. Like, a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
the decisions you see in this game are from a team of people who sat around and debated and went through certain things. And yeah, like, they might be like, look, this is the one thing that was all me, right? Like, I've Neil has definitely done like, all right, I abused my power here, and I was like, hey, this is how this part's gonna go. I want this in the game, and this is how this isn't debatable. So yeah, so they
Mm.
they definitely
So
get
you
their
want
moments.
someone that, so you want someone to be the end all be all,
Yeah, yeah,
not
which
be a
is
team effort.
yeah, which that, but that's what I'm saying. That's what everybody is kind of trying to highlight. Um, but again, no one is really that. Not even Hideo, right? You know,
Yeah, not
uh,
even Hideo.
yeah, he talks about it, but he's just more hands on in a lot of the stuff, because like some of the stuff is like the way he explains it and stuff. I've watched him go through it, right? The process, he's basically explaining essentially a dream or something very abstract to his team, and then getting them to produce it. But without the team, yeah, it still wouldn't come to fruition. So even him,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
because no one is. I can't think of anyone that would be able to do like that. Would be a disaster to work for.
Oh, absolutely.
Think, this is what happened with 343 when they were not 343. What you call it? And the initiative, when one person was highlighting all the ideas and people were not happy
Yeah.
with his move. So yeah, enough about us. Viper, what your thoughts on PlayStation suffering from too much successfullism?
Successful. No,
Hey, it's a verb, to me. It's a word. It's an official word. Successfullism.
you're probably
Successfullism.
probably gonna hate my response. Um,
You don't
I,
care?
no, I'm getting games. I'm getting games by the fucking buttload.
Oh,
So yes, I do need. I am in the corner of wanting a show. It's been a long time. We need a show, but
yeah, no, no,
um,
no, no. Nobody is denying that we need a show. Absolutely do.
yeah, but I don't see where they're faltering at. I mean, are we talking about first party not
No, no,
getting
no, no.
turned
He's
out?
not. He's not saying
No,
faltering.
no,
He's
no.
saying what do you think the reason is? They're basically beating everybody's ass because they're up 400%.
Oh, I mean, they got a
But you
great
just said
product.
it. I mean, you just
Yeah,
said it, right? You're getting
yeah,
games.
a
They might be
buttload of
quiet, but you're just drowning in games, which is what
yeah.
you want as a gamer.
And I can't. I ain't got enough time to play all these games. Honestly, I'm a little upset because I want to play everything that I want to play, and there's at least 200 of the 700 something games that I got where I'm like, okay, backlog, and then I get to the backlog, I'm playing them, and more games are coming in and backlog, and I for every one game that I've played in 2 weeks, I've added 7 or 8 games every time. So right, I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West right now. I have not added any games yet, but I'm pretty sure when I go look at their
Wait,
catalog,
hold up. You haven't,
what?
must I say it?
Oh, what?
You literally bought the entire Final Fantasy collection. Sit down.
Oh, that's
He said he didn't.
right.
Nah,
I'm,
we're not doing that,
that's the
mister.
point. I'm overlooking shit now. I'm overlooking shit. Okay, yes, you're right. I did buy six right there, but I'm going to be looking to get more by the end of next week. So uh, it's just it's an abundance of games, and I don't have a lifetime enough to play them. I'm pretty sure I'm going to die before I finish my damn backlog. So uh, I I don't see anything wrong with
Hey,
it.
your
I think
daughter will pick up your legacy.
that is also true. Speaking of, if she gets straight A's, she gets a monitor that can do a 120 frames per second. So and here's the thing, I made that decision before talking over it with my wife first.
Oh, so it's decided. It's over. She got the A.
Oh no, she's got a couple more months in school
Oh,
before
okay,
it has to be the final grade.
okay. I wish her the best. What
Well,
she
she
playing? What did she play lately?
right. Oh, she's on Burning Shores right now. Let
Okay.
let's say whatever game everybody's playing, especially you guys, like if it's God of War or Horizon Forbidden West, she's probably playing the same game.
Okay, gotcha. I have a question. Is there a way for Microsoft to compete now with PlayStation when they're down that bad?
They can go third party, and even then, I think they got the same.
Why would you go third party if your first party didn't even do well? How you
Well, with the rate with the rate they're trying to buy up existing IP. I mean, if they are allowed to buy existing IP, then they don't have to put the creative onus on themselves to make stuff with their first party. Um, Now, with that being said, with the stuff that they buy, is that going to become first party? Because as it stands right now, not only are their first party not faltering is faltering pretty bad, but all of the supposed like studios that I still kind of think are not third party, but they're supposed to be first party, like Rare, but they haven't done anything squat in like years upon years upon years. So I don't know what the acquisition of all these studios are going to do if they're not going to revive some of the shit that they're buying up.
Rare is busy with the Everwild, I think.
Oh, they are.
Yes, they genuinely are, and apparently that game have been rebooted what 2-3 times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How
Uh,
long? That's like a 8, 9, 10
dude,
year project.
hey, that shout out to Jeff Grubb. He's the one that broke that news. So he's also the one that broke that news that we're gonna talk about in a few.
Oh yeah, another showcase prediction.
Yeah, no, not the showcase. Yeah, that well, but we're gonna talk about something else first, more
Gotcha.
important
Oh,
than a showcase.
speaking of which,
Cause
the
yeah,
anime, it should be Ghost of Tsushima, and they should call it the Ghost.
okay. I think there is an anime about the island of Tsushima,
Oh,
so that would be interesting. And that anime goes hard. It's one season only, I think, and it goes hard, really hard. It's on the level of the game in a way. I
cool.
watched it and I will look it up for you and I will give you the name. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
you're
that works.
talking about Angle Moi or Mois or whatever how you pronounce it.
Oh, mouse. Oh, you mean that mouse?
No, Angle Moi or
Oh, that's
Moist.
the name
Whatever.
of the
The
anime. You
anime. Yeah.
mean? Okay.
Yes.
Type it in chat. Maybe people can wanna look it up later because it's a great, and I really mean great anime. It's violent as hell. It's not pretty. It doesn't take any prisoners. I wish what the game is if you play it. Weeb PlayStation successionism. Um,
Can you say
wh-
that? Can you say that 5 times after each other?
I I would Hey, we're not gonna go there right now. PlayStation suffering from that sickness. It's very real, and it's scary. And we need to do something about it. What can we do?
What can we do? Yeah, I don't know. Nothing. It's inevitable.
So dread it, run away from it. Death come to all every time.
Well, if you bleed green, it does. Yeah.
It almost seems like PlayStation can do no wrong. How long have they not had a showcase?
I mean, they can do wrong, but if you're
I
that if
mean,
you're
yeah,
just
we're gonna talk about that with price increase. But what? How long have they not had? We have not had a showcase. 2 years?
well at showcases, but you mean an event, right?
No. Yeah, but I'm genuinely talking about a roadmap where you're like, this is what you're gonna get for the next few years.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe once this deal go through or not, we will, or when we get closer to it, they're gonna dip their head a bit. I mean, maybe they already, since they already had to disclose some of that information, I think to the FBC, maybe they're at some point, yeah, and then the cat's out of the bag, so fuck it, let's just show it. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, in the end, it's basically a first world problem for us, right? I mean, yeah, sure, we will love for them to be more forthcoming, but in the end, we're getting the games. I mean, I'm drowning in games at the moment. I mean, always have a backlog, but now there's like half a dozen games that I actually started and want to finish, and they've all come out around the same time, and I actually have to choose now, and that's and sure it's not just PlayStation. I mean, Switch also has some great games coming out, have come out. You know,
Can I share the information? Not the information. What you shared on Twitter with us.
mhm. But
What you're like. I forgot I even pre-ordered this.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
so I'm like, how do you forget pre-ordering games? That's when you know it's over. You got too much game to play.
yeah. It's even worse. I also checked, and I also pre-ordered the new Pikmin. So
Oh, there is also that. That looks
yeah, so
great, by the way.
yeah, so there's so much coming and so much, and and next week I think
You
Jedi
played Kena?
Survivor's coming out. Sorry,
Have you played Kena?
Kena, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, great. Because that shit is amazing. But okay. Um, with the Activision Blizzard, let's say go through, do you think that's gonna give enough people reason to switch side?
I wonder because the way it now is going, clearly Microsoft is incapable of managing their studios, and there
No,
will
they're
be
not.
a lot of there will be a lot of fallout in the sense that there will be a lot of layoffs because definitely it's going to happen. And I know what's the because if a deal goes through, there will of course be that 10-year guarantee that their games are gonna Call of Duty is gonna remain on other platforms, so they can't immediately benefit from it aside from putting it in Game Pass. But then you have the issue like, is it going to make them the money back that they invested in it? And I actually now thinking that maybe if the deal goes through, it could be the end of Game Pass. It could be that
Oh,
yeah, could be because they
explain
could,
it.
well, because we now see that clear apparently like with Hi-Fi Rush not being successful, that they have some sort of somehow have, like I think it was with Jeff Grubb, right? He said that somehow they have also sales expectations of those games, and they sort of hoped that Halo Infinite could maybe be the money making machine, right, with all the microtransactions, and that didn't turn out the way they hoped it would be. And if that doesn't work for them for I don't know, a Call of Duty or whatever, then at some point they will have to say, okay, look, this is not, Game Pass is not sustainable. We cannot afford to put these games in our service with these returns. We need to recoup our investment, and we need to start selling those games, or put them in no longer day and date in Game Pass, and just release them half a year or a year later, whatever, right? But that's going to be the death of Game Pass, because then it's going to be no longer the basically end all be all of Microsoft, of Xbox, but it's just going to be an option. I know they're always telling us it's an option, but basically Game Pass is a platform at this point in time, right? They don't care, or at least they say they don't care about the physical sales or the digital sales, but it's about the service. They want everything to be in a service. But this could be the death blow to the service, because if that's not going to grow, just going the way that they want it to be, then they won't have any choice but to stop with the day and date, or refocus their efforts in actually increasing sales. Because as long as day and date, their game sales targets on their platforms are never going to be met. And if they're going to have to be dependent on PlayStation for their sales, I think that's going to further, at least for their investors, are going to be further reason to not put their games into subscription service day and day, because Game Pass will not grow, and that because there's still the option to get it on other platforms, and and on Xbox you won't have the game sale. So I see this could be this is sort of a make it or break it moment for them, but I'll see that the fact that already, even after they've acquired Bethesda and all the series they've had, it's not going the way they wanted it to be. They're very disappointed, and like I said, apparently game sales still matter, even though everything is day and date in Game Pass. This might be sort of essentially a self-inflicted wound, right? They might have just killed their own strategy. That they're the victim of their own success, I guess, if the deal goes through. That they in the end will be forced to no longer go with Game Pass as being the be all end all. It's just a theory, but based on what we're seeing now, it looks like it's not going the way they hoped it would be, and it's possible they will have to adjust their long-term plans. Oh, everybody's quiet now.
I had myself muted, not knowing that I had myself muted. I said okay, and I got you quite 2 times already. Oh yeah, by the way, just so you guys know, the reason we don't have any people whatsoever, because TZ and Persona are doing grudge match, and so there's that.
Okay.
Going to the next topic, PlayStation bought another studio they have now interacted with. I think Deviation Game? Is that the studio they bought? Because I forgot what they bought. I'm genuinely forgot. I think they did buy for Deviation, right?
It's Firewalk.
Oh, this week they bought Firewalk.
But I thought that was announced a while ago. Why is that?
No. The information is literally now announced. PlayStation announced it this week.
Oh, so it was just speculation up until then.
Yeah, so they bought Firewalk studio. Um, so between so how many of these small studios does PlayStation now have? They have Deviation Games, they have Firewall, and they have also that studio with that lady from Assassin's Creed. I forgot
Haven.
her name. Jade Raymond. Yeah.
Saving Studios.
So you have Deviation, you have Firewall, and you have the third one. I forgot what it's called, but my question to you guys are: is PlayStation genuinely gearing up to a future without Call of Duty? Because there is one studio that PlayStation is friend with, and I'm not surprised if they're gonna buy them next. So again, my question: is PlayStation truly gearing up to a future without Call of Duty? And if that's the case, does that mean the Activision Blizzard deal is gonna go through? And if that's the case, what type of ramification is it going to have on the industry moving forward?
I
And
mean,
oh wait, go
the-
ahead, Weeb.
oh, we lost Viper. Um, it doesn't mean it's going to go through, um, but they are preparing for that, of course, because they don't know. At this point, especially that they're the two to three that have to approve seem to be willing to let this deal go through. The FTC is still fighting this. The FTC a suit Microsoft. So it is still up in the air whether or not this goes through. But um, of course, they have to prepare for that. I mean, they have to prepare for that eventuality. So they cannot just wait and see, and then no, it's too late now. So yeah, so we have to accept that there's no Call of Duty in the future for PlayStation. So sure, they're gonna like that. That's also why they want to get into these games as a service titles, that they want to be prepared. They want to have sort of see if they can get like the next hit. It doesn't have to be Call of Duty. It can be the next Fortnite, whatever. But something that that can basically create sustainable revenue. And I'd say they have with some of these acquisitions, and it's possible, by the way, that they could be, because the thing is with Activision is that Call of Duty is not created by a single studio. They have several studios releasing different titles. That's how they can keep up that production line, right? They keep up releasing those games as annual or even biannual franchise or whatever, right? So it's possible that they at some point maybe decide, okay, yeah, look, this is our Call of Duty, and all the studios are going to support and sort of keep it going. But it's not like you can, you're guaranteed a success just because you decide, okay, we're going to make our own Call of Duty. You don't know. So, and that's why they are hedging their bets. They seeing maybe we can create a successful games as a service product that can compete, or at least or maybe several of those that allow us to create similar revenue. I mean, let's not forget they have Bungie, right? They have Destiny, and while Destiny is going to keep releasing on all platforms, if like I said, if at some point if Call of Duty disappears, they could do the same, right? They could say, okay, yeah, okay, you take away Call of Duty, well, we're gonna make Destiny exclusive because, well, or whatever next IP Bungie is working on. Because, well, we also need to have our exclusive games as a service game on our platform, so that people won't have a choice. They will have to buy our console if they want to play on console. They can't just buy an Xbox and have everything, right. So who knows? But yeah, it's not a, like I said, not a run. It's not a done thing, right? It's not a final. It's not that it's not over till the fat lady sings, right? But they're hedging their bets. They're, of course, they're preparing. So I mean, it would be
Okay.
stupid not to.
Weeb, I mean Viper. What about you?
Um, I believe that they caught wind of this acquisition years ago and
I don't think so. They
started
absolutely got blindsided with this
started
one.
it and started putting the wheels in motion for all of this stuff they got going on right now. I absolutely believe that's what happened. Um,
Mhm. I
and
agree too.
considering when think about this, PlayStation, when they announce they have an acquisition, it's already done. It's ink to paper. They don't count their chickens before they hatch. When Microsoft does it, it's they're going we're buying we're paying so much money that I know they're going to join us, and then they got to go through all these legalities and hoops and shit. So I believe absolutely this shit was in the works 7 to 8 years ago. PlayStation caught wind of it and was like, okay, let's have a backup plan in case Call of Duty disappears. And that's where we're in the
If
middle of right
that's the case, okay, let me give it to you, fine. Uh, if that's the case, why fight so hard for it then?
Oh, because it's their backup plan. I mean, who a
Now they
person
made themselves look
no.
stupid with some of their comments,
When
PlayStation and Microsoft included.
you got to think in corporation terms. Corporations want more money. They're trying to set themselves up for the future at all times. Uh, yes, they want their cake and eat it too. If they can get Deviation to make a Call of Duty rival and have Call of Duty as well, that's more money in their pocket.
Do you think Deviation might succeed in that?
I would say, I see. I don't know. I'm on a fence. Well, yes, they will. You know why? Because if this goes through, and Microsoft gets a hold of Activision, um, Call of Duty is going to be even shittier than it was before, and there will only be one other fighter, one not fighter, first person shooter that's going to be available, and it's only on PlayStation.
Okay. Are you done with the answer? So I don't cut you off
And
and move on to the next person.
yeah,
Okay, Innate. You're the big Call of Duty guy in here. What's your thoughts? Would you agree? More importantly, would you agree with Viper? What he said that apparently X Defiant have server issues? Mm-hmm. What happened to My Little Pony? And Battlefield, do you think that's gonna make a comeback, or do you think it's done? Mm-hmm. How can they do that and not get sued, though? But how do you know? So basically, let's say Final Fantasy 14 came up with the ability to have summon battle, and WoW looked at that, and they made it like where you can gigantify yourself and have a giant battle. That's something like that. Hmm. So what did Final Fantasy? How was Final Fantasy 14 able to break through that? Mm. Oh, Final Fantasy is pretty. Mm. 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 Mm-hmm. 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 Got you. And that's not something WoW could copy or steal. Yeah, because you have a history. You can't copy history. You can try to build up from Warcraft, but Final Fantasy history is longer than Warcraft. So checkmate. Because I remember a lot of, but that's another thing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You are an excellent salesperson because now I want to buy Final Fantasy 14.
Mm-hmm.
No, no,
It's
no
a,
shit.
it's a, it's an investment, eh? If you go with it, like be prepared. You you're if you think you have a backlog right now, boy, no, don't.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, that
Oh,
that would be a game that I would. You know how I said I was going to play Final Fantasy, the Pixel series, in conjunction with my single player games. That
mm-hmm,
would be. That's how I would play that game. I would dedicate an hour or two to Final Fantasy 14, and then go about playing, Horizon or God of War, whatever else is available. I would have to do that because, like you said, your single player game, your single player gaming will suffer.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I think we have destroyed this topic. Let's move to the next one. which will be, yes, there is sunshine and rainbow with PlayStation, but there is also downfall, which we're gonna talk about it right now, which will be PlayStation has significantly increased. Sony has significantly increased PlayStation game prices on Steam in some countries, including Canada, Japan, Argentina. Has been hit particularly hard with some prices doubling. So I'm gonna give you the because the price is insane. So the price increase vary by country and title. In Canada, the price for a full for all four games has been upped by $10, representing 14.5% to 17% increase based on their starting price. In Sony home country, Japan, the prices of the games have been risen by approximately 29% and 32.5%. Argentina to be by far the most heavily affected by the price increase. God of War price has more than doubled this week from 4,199 pesos to 8,499 pesos. The cost of Spider-Man Remastered has also doubled, while the price of Sackboy and Returnal have risen by 67%. Um, the traditional console-focused company has said it expected half of its game releases to be on PC and mobile by 2025. Okay. Um, I'm gonna say this. All you're doing, you're validating piracy. That's all you're doing. I already said it. With your track record being so bad on PC already, with your game releases, and then you up the prices like to this significant, like nah, PlayStation, what you're doing? You're suffering from too much success to the point where you no longer can focus. If a person have anything that what I mean by that is if someone can challenge me and tell me I'm wrong, go ahead, do so. I'll give you the floor in 3, 2, 1. Who wanna go first?
So here's the thing about that. I
You
and
don't
yeah,
care.
no. I
Oh,
do
you
care.
gotta be genuine. Okay, go
I,
ahead.
I do care, and here's the reason why I care. Remember when I kind of overreacted and said, "Oh, I might need to get a PC because the day and date and this is coming and that's coming and
Hmm.
blah." Well, no, now I don't have to. It has solidified that I need and want a PS5. So
Even if
maybe
they go day and day.
mm, if it's day and date and they jack the prices up on PC, fuck yeah, I'm gonna stay on PS5. I ain't going to PC.
Okay.
And therein lies the issue. If Sony is going to give their not give but sell their product at a higher price and have it be fucked up, why would I move to that platform?
Okay. Fair point. Good point. You get an A for not effort for excellent.
So
Um.
I'm
Oh yeah.
admitting
Go
that
ahead.
I kind of overreacted because I thought that the PC people was going to get the best of the best, and then we got to foot the bill while
That's
they're
what we thought, eh? And
but I
look
thought
what they did with The Last of Us. Look what they
but
did with Horizon. Look what they did. I don't know how Death Stranding came out, so I can't comment on that.
right,
I don't know how Sackboy came out. I can't comment on that. And also, it seems that not even all of PlayStation games are going there. It's
exactly,
selective, and it's almost like PlayStation have a board with games, and they throw a dart, and They're like, this game. That's what we got. Instead of making something like Gravity Rush, a game that people actually want, instead of making game like Bloodborne PC, a game that actually an updated for PlayStation 5 as well. No, we're gonna give you Sackboy Adventure. Look, I love Sackboy, but nobody and their mother asked for a Sackboy game release, and it's shown with the what you call it sales wise.
Here's what I think happened though. I think they was gonna do the bangers a year later, maybe 6 months later. They were going to possibly move towards date. I think that was their original plan, and the numbers didn't eke out the way they thought they were. So I was like, all right, fuck it, we just throw anything over there and put any product out there and let's see what happens.
That make no sense because
No,
after
it
the
makes sense.
numbers came, they did another interview, Herman Hulk, and he still went in saying a Hulk plate. Jim Ryan said a Hulk plate. That
Yeah,
was already we got with the numbers what we got.
that's what I'm saying though. I think they saw it didn't do that well, and instead of saving face and going, okay, we fucked up. Look, we're not doing that. They just were like, all right, we're just gonna let it die out slowly like Xbox.
Okay, we
Oh, and I have to eat dinner, people. I don't know if I'll be back.
so you're not gonna be able to join for the final topic. Okay.
Oh, actually, wait. How much longer we got left?
We're gonna talk about PlayStation. No, Hi-Fi Rush not doing well. Microsoft parent company being disappointed in Xbox, and where do we go from there with Xbox? Because that's about it. That's the final
Oh,
topic.
I wouldn't have been able to provide any information on that anyway, because like I said, that platform can go to hell.
Okay, got you. Um,
Catch y'all later. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Enjoy dinner, Piper.
What's your
Yes.
thoughts?
Fuck PC. No.
You have a stream deck. Come on, be
Oh
nice.
yeah, I know. But here's the thing, like I don't care in that sense because I mean I have the options, right? I mean I have a PlayStation 5 and I'm not waiting until a game drops to PC to play it. I want to if I really want to play that game, right, day and date, then I'm gonna buy for the platform as it's available on. And like I'm not gonna dodge spoilers for half a year or whatever it takes for the game to drop to PC. And we see
So
even
you're not gonna wait on games to hit PC. You gotta buy them day one PlayStation.
yeah, I mean I want like try dodging spoil like imagine if the let's say The Last of Us if you had, or Spider-Man 2, imagine that you had to wait a year for you to be able to play that game.
Oh,
Uh,
that's torture.
yeah, and have to worry about spoilers and shit. Like, no, man.
Oh yeah, not even spoilers. Are you sure gonna get the best version though?
That's also a risk because there's the risk of what happened with The Last of Us Part 1. There's the Nuvo that could fuck up your experience. I mean, the thing is like I've played PC all my life, and there are definitely games that I wouldn't want to play on a console, even if they came out on a console. And
Mm.
there's absolutely games that were that ran horrendously on console, like uh, um, Dragon Age Origins. Like I had that for PS3, and I couldn't continue playing that game because it was so fucking slow. Load times were ridiculous. I just got for PC and instant load times. That's that's the difference that you have, with PC and console. But as long as the games run fine on a console, there's absolutely n- no real. Let's say there's not enough reason to me to wait to get on PC. I mean, I might rebuy it on PC if if I have any inkling of replaying the game, but I rarely do that because I have so much to play, so I don't really want to waste time playing, especially if it's a long game, playing it again when I could, get back to another game that I want to play and haven't played yet. So but the thing with their the price increases and all, um, I don't. Here's the thing: a lot of these games are already being pirated anyway, and I don't think the sales numbers they've seen are that significant that they worry that it's gonna really eat into their revenue or their profits. I think they probably made some calculations that look, people who are buying our games are gonna keep buying the games because they don't pirate shit, and the people who are pirating our things are gonna keep on pirating it no matter what the price is gonna be. I mean, there's a lot of people who fucking hate PlayStation, and they're gonna just justify playing the game by saying, "Oh yeah, but at least I didn't pay for it, right?" And sure, there's going to be some people who will decide to pirate it instead of buying it, but I think they just made their calculation like, if we're going to do that, the margins will make up more than enough for in lost sales of people who are going to pirate it instead. And I think there might also be some sort of incentive there to say, look, we don't want to have too much of a price difference between our console and PC games because they realize they are cannibalizing uh, themselves, and I know that they probably decide at some point. I mean, the original reason that at least Sean Layden uh, said in that interview with Barry and Persona that it was to sort of give them a taste of PlayStation and then have them come to PlayStation. They probably know by this point in time that they're never going to come over and decide, okay, we're just going to make some extra revenue, and God forbid, maybe some lone PC gamer is going to say, "Oh, I'm going to get a PlayStation because I want to play those games, day and date instead of having to wait a year." Um, but I don't think that's their main aim. So I say there's probably some strategy involved there. I don't think they're completely lost it and have no idea what they're doing anymore. Um, and
PlayStation strategy with this one, I disagree with this one on that. Because
I
all
think
you're
so.
doing is you're setting up yourself for people just
What?
pirating your game.
Yeah, but like I said, I think they ran the numbers and made the choice that you know people are already pirating our games and they're never going to buy our games no matter what the price is. And there's going to be people who are going to keep buying those games even no matter what the price is. So they figured we're probably going to make more money if we jack up the prices than if we keep them as they currently are, and maybe more people will buy them. So I think
Mm,
that's that. And like I said, there's probably going to some sort of strategic choice there that they want to avoid too much disparity in the pricing between PC and console, because then people might hold off on buying it for a console because they can get it cheaper on PC. Like they probably want to um, also realize that if there's a division in the fan base, then at least it should be or player base. It should be equal in the sense that they're not going to discourage people from buying PlayStation. So now that they've solved all the hardware shortages, I think they know they're going to go full in on the console and keep the PC business sort of as a
oh, so you
separate
think
revenue stream.
the PC business was just almost like a phase that they thought they could outperform, but they realized, well, that's not gonna happen. So let's call it a day.
Well, we know that initially their plan was to entice people to come to PlayStation, and then realize that's not going to happen. So and it's gonna, they're gonna keep. It's not that they're gonna retreat from PC. They're gonna keep putting their games on there. It's just that they're. I think sort of the honeymoon is over, right? It's the same way that you no longer can have a $1 Game Pass subscription. Like at this point, like, okay, look, we've sort of enticed you with our games. Now want you to pay full price because we want to get our margins, and we don't
We
want
need that
to.
revenue, dog.
Hmm?
We need that revenue, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that they've made their calculations that they realize, okay, that drop in sales is going to be offset by the increase in margins that we are getting on every copy sold. I mean, like I said, some of the games sold reasonably well, not comparable to what they did on the console, but still. And some really didn't sell that well, right? They were, and those games were, at the old price, at the basically a discount price compared to what you get on console. They ran fine, were great games, and still, sales didn't really look very impressive. Clearly, people were pirating it en masse. So if they're doing that,
Yeah, God of War
well,
got pirated. I
yeah,
remember hearing about that.
yeah. So
Shout out
so
to Viper for saying that, sharing
yeah,
that information.
so you clearly reducing the price is not going to encourage people to buy your game or buy more. So then I'd say if you then I think they just decide it's a lost cause in that sense that you're not going to get more people to buy your games. So why not just maximize the amount of money you can get from the people who are buying games?
But
I think that's
all you're doing with that is you're losing all that goodwill that you generated with the people. 'Cause now you're looking like money hungry.
yeah, but in the end they're all money hungry. They want to
I
have
mean,
money.
yeah, of course, but when something, come on. There,
Yeah.
there's the facade, and there's the people that truly believe that companies are they're in the best way and they want them and all that jazz. We all
Yeah,
know
but
they're all
in
money
in in
hungry.
the in the in the end they need to recuperate the money in the end, and that's always the case, right? When they seem like, oh, they're very, I don't know, pro consumer or whatever, or they're very generous in their offering and what they charge you. Uh, it's never gonna last. Like I said with Game Pass, like did people really expect that the $1 subscriptions were gonna last forever? Of course not. At some point, the honeymoon is over. The service needs to start making money. They're doing that to rope you in, to get you to get invested in their products, in their services, and at some point they want to have your money. They want to pay as much as you're willing to part with to maximize their profits. And I'd say this is probably also a moment like that they saw, okay, we sort of we this is as far as it's going to grow, right? This is the audience we've captured, and now we're going to milk it. And yeah, that's how it works. That's the same reason they jacked up prices for for PlayStation 5 games, right, with the $10 increase, because they knew, okay, yeah, we have built an audience. We know that these people will buy our console and they will pay it. It had nothing to do with increased costs or whatever. It's just they did it because they could get away with it. They made the calculations. They knew how, their games are still selling gangbusters, so they absolutely have no reason not to do it.
hmm So, Nate, what your thought? You're the PC dude. You're the PC master race in some areas.
I mean, honestly, Weeb kind of said it. I mean, me and Weeb are pretty similar in that regard.
Inter-
Um,
Interesting. So you kind of agree with him, what he said then.
well, yeah, I mean, like when he said, like fuck PC, like, like at the same time as like because I know the shortcomings of PC. When you've played for years and years and years, like you don't have this whimsical nature about how wonderful PC is, right? Like, like I was explaining to someone the other day,
So
like
PC doesn't cure cancer?
absolutely not, absolutely not.
Hmm.
Um, and like I was explaining to somebody the other day, I was like, look at what they were able to get out of the systems. Even the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4 and now the PlayStation 5. Look what they're able to get out with the power that it supposedly has in comparison. My previous graphics card was already like 5 to 8 times stronger than the PlayStation 5, right? And yet I have a 4090 now, which is even more insane, right? But and it is capable of producing some insane stuff, but if this was in something like a PlayStation 5, you would get god tier level stuff going without such a heavy impact on the hardware. The reason you have to get such brutal, ridiculous, massive hardware is because everything is basically brute forcing. Um, you're basically forcing your way through. A bigger engine, more power, better gas. Like you gotta pay to kind of get this thing to put the rubber to the road. You know what I mean? But versus like it's like think about like a dragster, right? They a drag racer goes in a straight line. It does one thing really well: power. Like it goes from some of them go from 0 to like 200, almost 300 miles an hour in 10 seconds, right? Some of the fastest NHRA in the world, right? It's brutal. You know what I mean? It exerts the force of like the NASA space shuttle in like a second. Like that's kind of what PC is. But then when you look at something like Formula One, right? Everybody's car is about the same, but you tune it and you tune it and you tune it and you fine tune it. And these cars are incredibly fast. They turn corners on a dime. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a very different type of thing. So um, yeah, I mean, like I mean, like I said, like we've said, they're not gonna back off entirely. They're gonna continue to give them old stuff. I mean, we don't even know when the next game is coming for PC, right? Like that's kind of
No,
the
we don't.
yeah,
And clearly they're not,
they're in no rush.
uh, all in.
Yeah,
They're not only,
they're
they're
not
not
all in.
all
You
in a
keep them
rush.
in the you keep them in the dark. They don't know when stuff's coming. You know what I mean? What like when they'll get it? Maybe they'll get it. Maybe they won't. You know, they thought they would be playing Ghost of Tsushima right now, and they're not. And they may not ever play Ghost of Tsushima. You see what I'm saying? They don't
Yeah,
know.
they might actually genuinely never, they might actually never play Ghost of Tsushima.
And
That's a,
and but you know what? That would be a good thing. You know why? Because now this person who thinks they're going to get all of PlayStation's games, now they feel uncertain. Now they're like, "Man, I really should get a PS5 because that game was amazing." You know?
it
And
is, it is.
yeah, but that's how you keep them. PlayStation needs to keep them on a leash. Like see Xbox dudes thought that play anywhere shit was the jam until they started watching the results of PC benefiting from their service more than they did. So now PC's benefiting more. PC run, a lot of the PCs are gonna run a lot better. Um,
Yeah, PC is literally their main console, quote unquote console. Their main focus now. It's
but
no longer
but I mean,
It's no longer
why
Xbox.
why not, right? Because there's only 5 million apparently, or at least based on the previous numbers. There was only 5 million on Xbox on Game Pass, and there's over 10 million on PC,
No, 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 no,
or
no, no.
15
So
million
there
or
is a
something like that.
correction. No, even that there is a correction in that. I think that there was a misunderstanding with that one, of that front. We need someone with an actual Xbox to break down the numbers, because apparently if you subscribe to, I think, Xbox Ultimate or something like, or Game Pass Ultimate or something like that, that count for PC as well. So I don't know. It
I
was
mean,
something weird. It's
I know
something
I
weird.
know how it works. There's a PC only one, which I don't have. I have Ultimate. Ultimate counts as everything because I could use that on an Xbox as well. So if I had Ultimate, I can go back and forth between my PC and an Xbox and have Game Pass on everything, but with that one subscription. So it counts as like everywhere. So if anything, my subscription looks like it counts for Xbox. But I play on PC and they know that, so they can see that. But they're
Mm-hmm.
still gonna count it towards Xbox because I potentially can, and I actually own an Xbox. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Ultimate. Ultimate is on everything. What they're counting is the PC only people though. There's a Game Pass PC which would it's $10 a month, and that specifically is just for Game Pass PC. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be exclusive. But I mean,
I'm
regardless, I'm
genuinely
still not
curious
surprised.
how much the number is, but Microsoft is never gonna release that.
I mean, I'll still tell you that I believe 100% that PC still subscribes more.
Oh yeah, no, PC is absolutely dog walking the consoles.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
absolutely not a debate.
they're treating them well. You know, we got a lot of their games first. We get a lot of their games almost exclusively. A lot of their
Yeah,
games play better. Like they were talking about how Age of Empires, the remake or whatever.
and
I
Death
promise
Stranding
you
on
that's better.
PC.
Oh yeah, and that's way better on PC. Like this is what I'm saying. Like it just is what it is, man. Um, I couldn't even tell
Okay.
you, but yeah. But clearly, PlayStation
Um,
made the correct decision by the way they're absolutely demolishing everyone, which is what we said in the beginning. Never go day and date. You know, entice people, keep your
remember how
console
people
relevant.
kept saying they're gonna do a day and day and day? I
hmm
don't think day and date is everything now.
The only time they'll ever do that is what we said they would do when they do a multiplayer game because multiplayer games need a massive community to thrive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they do these live service games, yeah, sure, they'll probably be day and date. But that's because that's just to number one, you can't pirate a game that is online multiplayer, so they don't have to worry about that. And then that's just going to generate more revenue for them, and it's going to create a bigger fan base or a bigger player pool. That's what you want. But you know, at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, it's fine as long as and when it comes to the competitive nature of any of these games, they give us the ability, as they've done so far, to turn off crossplay. That's the biggest key with that. As long as they do that, they'll be
Mm-hmm.
okay. And that's the only time I think you'll see day and date. And PlayStation would be smart to keep it that way. And like I said, otherwise keep them in the dark about games like Ghost of Tsushima and all these other games. They have no idea when they're coming, if they'll come.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I think it would be prevalent to just never bring Ghost of Tsushima because that goes to show them, hey, they have this a bit of fear, if you will. Hey, I may never get to play this game.
Oh,
you know,
now you're giving them that FOMO.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. When I'm tired of waiting. I got a taste of The Last of Us and I got a taste of this and I got a taste of that. Oh man, I can't wait any longer. I gotta play that game. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think
So is this almost like a confirmation that they're putting the brake on PC?
I wouldn't say they're necessarily putting the break. They're just playing it smart, right? Like I said, it's always been about enticing them, and as long as they keep making it that way, you're gonna still end up with people who are PC centric people who end up having a PlayStation, right? Some of the people I gamed with for like 15 years, they're basically all purely PC players, right? But over the years, they've always had a PlayStation and they've always had a Nintendo. Why? Because they always offered something incredibly different and incredibly high
Ah,
quality that you couldn't get anywhere else. As long as you
okay,
keep
so they're
offering
not
that,
waiters.
yeah, they're not waiting. Nah, the
Interesting.
hype is too real. You know what I mean? And whether they want it or not, like my friend hesitated, but guess what? His wife saw that he really was digging God of War, and she bought him a PS5 with the God of War edition for his birthday. So now he's in
Mm,
the PS5 ecosystem, and that's gonna cause him to purchase more games. or get into other games that are not available on PC. So that's what I'm saying. Like one way or another, they get you in there. But if you were just an Xbox, she didn't look at that and get him an Xbox. Why? Because he has a PC. He has a beast
Yeah,
PC.
PC. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
golden.
exactly.
Okay. Got you. Speaking of Xbox, we wanna talk about Hi-Fi Rush. You know I'm having fun with this one.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I need to believe Aaron Greenberger,
mm-hmm,
the person that said 60 FPS is gonna be
the
the
standard.
target. And yeah, he did say, yeah, what you call it, developers are free to choose, are allowed to free choose, but I'm like, yeah.
Man, there's always a caveat, bro. The problem is they need to stop
Mm,
running a mouth and trying to cash checks before they make sure the banks got what it takes to cash them shits. You know,
I
like,
have a,
eh.
yeah, I have a question. So I have here the entire video. It's 1 hour, 1 minute, 46 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Do I send it to you so you play it on your stuff, or do I just say what he said?
Oh, you can just say what he said because it would. I'd have to like
Okay,
do the audio.
okay. Give me a second then. So, um, okay. So, I already took the L, and I have absolutely no issue taking that L. Um, I when I first heard that Kojima is working with Xbox, I doubt that. And Jeff Grubb is the person that broke that deal before anyone else had anything to say about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he is truly credible. There is no but or it about it.
Yeah, he is, but they didn't like what he said, so they're gonna
Yeah,
just
yeah. So no,
yeah.
I'm setting the ground up so there is absolutely zero what you call it doubt and whatsoever. So Jeff Grubb on Hi-Fi Rush got you in it. Uh, Based on what I've heard, it just didn't make the money it needed to make. He said, Jeff mentioned how there may still be a performance expectation for games despite being on Game Pass, and that a far bigger game like Call of Halo Infinite ultimately failing to provide a cushion of sorts by bringing in tons of money may hurt games like Hi-Fi Rush. We have heard statements like this before, with the most being a statement from Sony on how well even Call of Duty has to fund their third-party content, or how huge successes like Spider-Man, Zelda, etc. allow room for comparatively smaller successes or experiments that doesn't work well. Yeah, we heard that. Call of Duty could have that role for Microsoft, assuming the Activision deal goes through. But Jeff says it feels like Microsoft's decision making in regard of to game management is handled properly. Now, now we're hearing that. Okay. Jeff also mentions that management is not happy with the state of Xbox. He doesn't go into more details about that specifically, but says commentary regarding any dissatisfaction with Xbox is more to the knowledge and this diagnosed issue it has because uh, they matter. Um, so where where do we start with this one? So we have a game that had its PlayStation 5 version killed. That is the JRP, not JRPG. It's an action rhythm game. It's a single player, and it's day one Game Pass, and it's Shadow Drop, And you want to tell me it did well sales-wise. Are you high? I don't care who you are. Are you absolutely high?
I
Are you
mean,
actually
honestly,
going to believe
I mean, they just
Aaron
don't know what to do.
Greenberger with this one? Go ahead, Nate.
No, I mean, I don't believe Aaron. Like, honestly, he's gonna say whatever. He's not gonna come out and say they failed. Like, number one, that looks bad.
No,
That
that's his job to damage control. Like that's literally his job.
Yeah. So I definitely believe they were. I definitely believe the real numbers don't stack up to what they thought they would. And I mean, but the problem is they created the fan base that does these kind of things, right? You know,
They did.
they hype it up on social media, but then you find out a ton of them aren't really playing it, or they played it for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
So
shout out
the
to Yojiro Hama. He's exposing them full
Yeah,
between him and Trash.
that's what I'm saying.
He's
Like
exposing
we
them.
find out all the time that a bunch of these people are lying about how much they enjoy these games and blah blah blah. But you know they do it because they see us on the PlayStation side or PC or Switch really enjoying these games and putting in the hours into these games, and they're like, oh well, I gotta compete somehow. You know, I gotta say that my game is just as fun, or I spent just as many hours playing this game, and you know, the problem is they spend all this time trying to make us jealous because the reality is they're jealous of a lot of the games that we have. You know, how many times a day do half these people spend all freaking day talking about how they didn't get Final Fantasy VII Remake? You know, and then now they're already crying about Final Fantasy 16 and the next Final Fantasy 7 remake installment. And they go 2 years
Mhm.
after the agreement expired and we still don't have Final Fantasy. You know, I was
I
like, you
think
know
they
what?
truly believed it's gonna hit Xbox, but
I mean, and you know what?
Microsoft.
Maybe after all is said and done, they might, right? But honestly, if I was Square, fuck them, because the way that they've acted, you know, through all this nonsense, you know, the way that these ungrateful ass Xbox fans, I'm not saying everyone, but the ones that are the loudmouths on Twitter that think they deserve everything, I would just not even put it there, even if that was my plan, just to be spiteful because these people just don't deserve it. Like to tell you the
Hey,
truth.
their games are literally on everything except it's on fucking Samsung refri- refrigerator.
Yeah,
Or more.
just like oxen free,
We're
and
gonna talk about that because Octane Free is a little bit different.
no, but I'm
Octane
saying,
Free,
what I'm saying is, it's still one of the another developer, right? Not on Xbox. Like they kept blaming Square, but I kept pointing out multiple developers or publishers where certain games would just keep skipping Xbox specifically. This
with Octane Free, it's different though.
I'm not saying that regardless of what the
Hmm.
reason is, it still skipped them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And then on top of that, you still had most recently Mega Man Battle Network, which also skipped them. Like
which
you think Capcom couldn't foot the bill? Of course they can. They just know it's not worth putting on Xbox because y'all don't
it,
support it.
it's interesting though because they gave them that dog shit of a game called Extra Primal. They won in Game Pass,
Hmm.
but
But they know they
a
love
high
that shit.
quality game like Mega Man Battle Network and a highly anticipated remaster, mind you, it's not a remake, it's a remaster. Capcom knows people gonna fork money for it, and they also know. Don't you? I have a question. Don't you think Capcom looked at the numbers for Resident Evil 8 versus Xbox? Don't you think they look at the numbers for Resident Evil 4 remake?
Absolutely.
91% on PlayStation versus Xbox. At some point, I truly believe at some point companies are like, "M- maybe porting a game to Xbox is gonna cost us more than our return on investment."
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening now.
I mean,
With
it
Oxen
is largely what's happening though.
with Oxenfree, it's different because what Netflix owns owns the studio, and they're in competition with what we call it, Microsoft with cloud gaming. So there is that. Um, but it's it's insane though that we've been saying it, sales matters, but the exec started sales don't matter narrative. Fan base ran with it, so sales don't matter, console sales don't matter, and yet Microsoft even admitted there is a certain cannibalization of. There is literally a word for it. Give me a second. I'm gonna get that word. I know you want to end it very quick in it, but this one is very important.
Mm,
But go ahead, continue.
yeah, but no, I mean, I was basically done with it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's very obvious or apparent right now. You know what's kind of going on with everything, and I mean, honestly, it's the fans' fault. Uh, Regardless, um, they don't think it is. Like I said, this conversation kind of came up in a different way, as well. Um, where someone had asked on Twitter, you know, should gamers be concerned with the business side of things? And my answer was absolutely. Of course you should be, because if the game is not selling on your platform, you may not get the next iteration, or you may not get it at all. You know, if the company released something similar on your platform before and they're releasing a new IP, they might say, "Hey, well, we're just going to forgo releasing it on that platform because you guys clearly don't support the games on that platform." And it's constantly, you know, it's even backfiring on Microsoft in this case, you know, where they definitely have sales expectations of something like Hi-Fi Rush, but obviously, you know, we know. I mean, there's people now that are interested in Diablo 4, and they're counting on this Activision deal to go through and to speedily get that game on Game Pass rather than
I don't think
purchasing it.
Microsoft is going to be able to get it in Game Pass that fast, can they?
I mean, honestly, I don't think it's going to be as fast as people think. There's obviously
Um,
the deal hasn't gone through yet in the first place. We don't know
uh,
when that's going to happen.
I think at the earliest it will be next year. I think,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
like it's gonna be too late, yeah, because the game's gonna come out this like in a couple of months. So it's no way that's gonna be in Game Pass day and date.
Yeah, absolutely not. So that's what I'm saying. But like, you got people already like waiting for it for being in Game Pass, and I'm like, this is the type of consumer you guys bred. You know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
now, you know, you guys relied on the it's okay people, the people who are already on Xbox, to keep telling you it's okay
Yeah,
for these mediocre
So
efforts. You know, and then
well,
now
it
it's not paying
it's
off.
both, right? I mean, it's yes, it's the fans, it's also the company. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, for
like you
sure.
said, they created these kind of fans, these kind of gamers.
I got it right here. So Microsoft confirmed Game Pass can cannibalize regular game sales in a compulsory report to a UK regulator. Microsoft admitted that putting games on Game Pass means selling fewer retail copies. So you tell me Game Pass doesn't uh, provide more sales because that's what Phil Spencer said.
Yeah, but it is also like pretty much what I said before, right? The whole um, this is also what Jeff Krebs said that probably because Halo Infinite failed, that it's now important that these games that are dropping day and date in Game Pass that they need to meet sales targets, and they're not going to make those, especially not if you shadow drop a game like Hi-Fi Rush, but
Yeah,
uh,
that's another issue. Shadow dropping game in Game Pass. Like you're asking for it at this point.
yeah, I think the problem there is a indeed they wanted to because they had nothing to show for that they wanted to be able to tell people, yeah, look, here's a first party game, right? That's coming to Game Pass day and date. On the other hand, is they barely spend any money in marketing their games anyway, because that's also the Game Pass effect, because it's gonna drop in that service anyway. Like you don't need to advertise a game to get people to buy it, because they will have it anyway, because they will be subscribed to your service. But that obviously also means that people might not even be aware that they can actually buy the game. And obviously, you're not going. That's the whole reason why you advertise again, why you have a marketing budget to right why Sony is going out there and putting Spider-Man on buses or subways, because that's how you sell a game. It doesn't sell itself on its own, even if it has brand recognition, or it's known property, or a sequel, or was a successful game. You need to make sure that people are aware of that you create hype. That's how you sell your games. That's why these PlayStation games sell so much. It's not just that they're fucking good, but it is because Sony is king in marketing these games. They know how to play this game, and clearly Microsoft doesn't mean.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
when
what do you expect if
wait,
you have somebody like Alan Greenberger being your head of marketing? Like, dude sucks at his job, but apparently he fails upward or something like that.
when you literally put your most anticipated title in a stadium full of people during a basketball game, like that can attract a lot of attention, don't you think, Renee?
You said does it what?
When you have a commercial for your biggest game, which was Ragnarok,
Hmm.
it was on a basketball game. It was literally on the field, the entire field.
Yeah, you're
That's
talking
how
about
you get.
when the floor fell out from under the stadium and stuff, and it looked all cool and stuff. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
epic.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's how you
Like,
do it, bro.
and that's what PlayStation is king.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Supposedly, the budget for Halo was so freaking massive, like over 500 million, and a large portion of
Mhm.
that was advertising. And yet, I have never seen a Halo commercial ever.
Nah, no way that was advertisement. Nah, 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 nah.
I mean,
The way they revealed
according to
that
them.
game, no way.
Well, the 500 million was part of the problem was because they were trying to make their own engine. That's why it was so expensive. So in combination with
Yeah,
trying to make their own engine plus that, yeah.
Shout out to
which
Weeb.
clearly
Yeah, the
they
comeback was
failed.
that good, Weeb.
Yeah,
I'm loving this.
uh, yeah, it clearly is a Halo 5 engine they were using. The whole Slipstream engine was vaporware.
Yeah.
Was a scam. I mean, and it's not just me saying it. There was a developer who, uh, um, I don't remember who it was, but I heard him talk about, like, he confirmed that yeah, this is clearly the Halo 5 engine. This is not, and you can see that. I mean, put them next to each other, like the, the game doesn't look nearly as good as what that engine promised, like that
Oh,
demo
absolutely not.
they showed. But if you look at if you put it next to Halo 5, yeah, we can see why this game looks dated, because it's an old engine they reused. I mean, and I think that the money went to largely because of how troublesome the development was, how 343 was so mismanaged that they had to hire all these extra developers. Like, that costs a lot of money. Yeah, sure, you could easily spend 500 million, or $100 million or more on development if your game is in development hell. If you are incapable of delivering. Like, it's ridiculous that after all that money, the game still wasn't finished, right? They left out modes that were always included in Halo games, and they still are incapable of delivering a roadmap. And now they sort of gave up basically with all the layoffs of 343, and essentially outsourcing all the new content to other studios. Like, it's a complete and utter failure. Uh, but yeah, failures cost a lot of money. So it's possibly still one of the most expensive productions ever, but not because of actually putting the money to produce a great game. No, they're just wasted a lot of money because they can't manage our studios.
They can. Shout out to Viper. He said that was a bait and switch. That was a switch and bait if I've ever seen someone. Bait and switch. You
Yeah.
actually fell for it, eh? Because that was one of your reasons to actually buy us an Xbox. And I remember watching that with what's his name, um, Stick Humor TV, and he was impressed, but he was like, "Give it a minute. This might actually be fake." And tell out to him, it turned out to be correct. And so, yeah. With that being said, I think we have come to the end of this. Cause real talk, Xbox Game Pass cannibalization, that shit exists.
Absolutely.
And Microsoft admitted it in court. And these are the same people that said sales don't matter, yet admitted that kind of Game Pass cannibalization is real. So you shot yourself in the own foot, and now you wanna blame, and now you wanna buy an entire hospital and blame it on Sony because you can't compete. That's basically it. But I think we have come to to the end of this conversation. Shout out to everyone that came through. This was a great show. Um, where people can find you.
You can find me on Twitter as the Weep Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome and, well, Other Nation.
Gotcha. And Nate, where people can find you.
Yeah, just on Twitter at the real Nate. As usual, keeping it gaming. And for the girls that aren't here this week, Otter Nation. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, like you said, next week we should be a full squad, so it'll be interesting.
I'm actually gonna talk with a few people because I genuinely need next week to be a full squad
Yep,
because we're gonna go in.
definitely.
And as for me, people can find me at Caravan_Job on Twitter and games and Vitamin G podcast every Monday 8 p.m. at the same time. Shout out to the crew over here. Very quick, shout out to Viper for coming through. You can find them at Viper Reef Corner on Twitter or Viper Reef. Um, and yeah, K under Kaylee and Morgan, Shield Bandit on Twitter. And with that being said, I think we're done for tonight.